Anthropic just launched a new Claude model, Opus 5. On paper, it's wild. They claim it gets close to their most powerful model, Fable 5, but at half the price. Third-party benchmarks show Opus 5 beating Fable on some tests, especially coding and real-world work tasks. And at the same time, Anthropic is telling us this is their safest model so far, with fewer annoying refusals than Fable. So in this video, I'm going to break down what Claude Opus 5 actually is, how it compares to Fable, GPT, and Gemini on price, performance, and safety, and whether you, as a developer, founder, or creator, should actually switch your stack to Opus 5. By the end, you'll know if Opus 5 is really the everyday frontier model Anthropic is selling us, or just clever marketing. Let's start with what Opus 5 actually is. Anthropic released Claude Opus 5 on July 24, 2026. It's part of their Claude 5 lineup, which now has 4 tiers: Haiku, fast and small; Sonnet, balanced; Opus, high-performance workhorse; Fable, top-tier frontier agent. Opus 5 sits just below Fable 5 in the stack, but it's designed to be the default model most users see every day. According to AI Release Tracker and Anthropic's docs, Claude Opus 5 was released 24 days after Claude Sonnet 5 and about 6 weeks after Fable 5. Has a 1 million token context window, so you can feed it huge documents, long code bases, or multi-step conversations. Uses updated training and alignment methods that boost its performance on complex reasoning, browsing with tools, and computer use tasks platform. So conceptually, think of Opus 5 as almost frontier-level intelligence, but priced and tuned so you can hammer it all day for coding, research, and automation. Now, that marketing pitch doesn't mean anything unless the benchmarks back it up. Let's dig into the numbers. Let's start with the benchmark story because this is where Opus 5 really surprised people. Frontier Bench V 0.10. Opus 5 scores 43.3%. compared to Opus 4.8 at 21.1%, more than double the previous Opus O. It's nearly 10 percentage points ahead of Fable 5 on this mixed frontier benchmark, according to Release Tracker summaries. Knowledge work performance. Opus 5 has an ELO around 1,861, which was the best published score at launch. BrowseComp, agentic web search. Opus 5 scores about 90.8%, showing strong performance as a browsing agent. Humanities last exam with tools, roughly 56.3%, which puts Opus 5 in frontier territory on PhD-level mixed questions. So what does that mean? It means Opus 5 isn't just an Opus 4.8 upgrade. On many tests, it beats Fable 5 or lands very close, while blowing past the older Opus generation. Now, let's talk money. Anthropic kept Claude Opus 5 at the same API price as Opus 4.8. $5 per million input tokens. $25 per million output tokens. Fable 5 sits roughly at double that level for many customers and workloads. So when Anthropic says half the price of Fable, they're pointing to exactly this gap. Fable is the premium frontier agent. Opus 5 is the workhorse frontier model. CNBC's coverage frames it very clearly. Anthropic said Claude Opus 5 is its best performing and most cost-effective offering, designed for businesses increasingly worried about soaring AI bills. Let's say your app burns 20 million tokens a day between input and output, RAG, copilots, agents, whatever. On Fable-level pricing, that might be, say, $600 to $800 a day. On Opus 5 pricing, it could be closer to $300 to $400 for similar capability. Over a month, that gap can easily hit 5 figures. That's the entire pitch, frontierish capability at an Opus price. Comparison versus GPT and Gemini. Where does Opus 5 sit against GPT-5 and Gemini 3? Different benchmarks use different scales, but the pattern from early reviews is quality. GPT-5.6 Sol still tends to win on the most extreme reasoning and math challenges, but Opus 5 is competitive in many everyday tasks. Gemini 3.6 Flash is cheaper and more efficient, but Opus 5 often wins on complex reasoning and coding quality. Price: Gemini 3.6 Flash is aggressively priced for tokens. Opus 5 slots in as a mid to premium option with better front-end performance. GPT-5.x models remain at the top end of pricing and cost, making Opus 5 more attractive for cost-sensitive businesses. But there's another part of the story. Anthropic is emphasizing hard safety. Anthropic isn't just selling Opus 5 on capability, they're selling it on safety.